Hot news: how Nancy Pelosi beat Donald Trump at his own game and why it matters. CNN Politics. There's simply no other way to interpret sent at 11:12 p.m. Eastern Time when, as that concession came after a day in which Trump tried to force House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's hand, sending her a letter in which he insisted he planned to deliver his State of the Union speech from the House floor and dared her to say no. Which, of course, she promptly did. That stunned the White House, according to CNN's reporting. Wrote CNN's White. In short, Trump and his senior aides thought Pelosi would cave, that she wouldn't endanger the tradition of the State of the Union simply because she disagreed with his demands for $5.7 billion for a border wall, a demand that sits at the heart of the government shutdown. They thought that and on that, they were wrong. Because this fight over the SOTU is about much more than just when and where Trump gives his speech. This is the first. Pelosi chose the latter option. And she won. The implications for the ongoing fight over the government shutdown and for the approach of the growing number of Democrats hoping to challenge Trump in 2020 are considerable. Pelosi's refusal to budge on the timing and location of the State of the Union sends a very clear message to Trump that he should not expect her to move off her position that the government needs to reopen before any conversations about border security and wall funding happen. She is not going that no. Trump has rarely backed down from a fight. It's not.
Raindrop, truck top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.